an ANC councillor has been arrested in connection with the murder of two other party members. Siyabonga Mkhize and Mzukisi Nyanga were gunned down in Durban last year while on a door-to-door campaign. Joining me now is ANC eThekwini spokesperson Mlondi Mkhize, who talks to us via the virtual platform. Mr. Mkhize, thank you very much for your time. First question that springs to mind is whether or not there is still doubt in the leadership of the ANC, in eThekwini at least, that these murders of ANC members in November last year were political killings.
Well, we don't have a sense that we can say without doubt that there are problems inside the African National Congress of political killings. The reason why we'll say that, Babu Mugambi, that over time, there have been many cases that involve comrades who have been killed, investigations being done, arrests being made. Subsequently, when people have been arrested, they are released, they were told of this technicality and that technicality. And as a result, cases remain unresolved. And as a result, we are saying, therefore, there is no sufficient evidence to suggest that inside the African National Congress, we are seeing things that are beginning to point out that indeed there is something that we've got to fix inside the ANC. But the evidence before us has not pointed us directly in terms of conviction of cases that this is where the problem is and how do we begin to fix it. And we would like to insist and emphasize on the point that says we've got to observe all processes, because jumping the gun sometimes creates a problem.
Mr. Mkhize, I don't understand what is difficult to call out what appears very clear, at least in my mind. Yes, there are no convictions yet, but your own analysis inside the ANC should tell you, and you should probably resolve much quicker. And why I say this, and that's because an area in eThekwini right now, at least one of the branches, or if you like, the regions there, is without a PR councillor who is also an ANC member who is allegedly involved in the murders of these two ANC members. As a result, by the way, you have said that in the absence of this councillor, you are now going to deploy another PR councillor in order to stand in the position. Why is it difficult to conclude that these were political killings?
Remember, Babu Mugambi, here we are dealing with what the state will call the accused, or the accused, because there are many, it's more than one. So when you are an accused, Babu Mugambi, you are not someone who has been convicted by the courts of law. You are someone who is suspected to be a potential person to be convicted. And therefore, we cannot, on the basis of being accused, conclude that you have been convicted. That is why we are saying that we are seeing some light and some sense, but we cannot conclusively say that this is internally, this is inside the African National Congress. You'll remember that at some point, I think 3-4 years back, we would have had a number of a case that was had in Mlazi Magistrate Court that involved a councillor of the ANC in Mlazi. And another councillor was accused of being part and parcel of the killing. But when the case proceeded, we ended up having that person who was accused being removed as an accused and having other people who were then called to be accused. So can you imagine if we had concluded at that time that indeed the problem is internal, only to find out as the law enforcement agencies and the courts continue to do their work, then they say, no, we have made a mistake. When I was on the waiting room, Babu Mugambi, you were playing a clip here at Newzroom Afrika, where the Minister of Police say we have arrested someone at 10 a.m. and wara. And you continue when you play that clip, there is a clip after that that says, well, we have released the person because of insufficient evidence and complication in the investigation. That's exactly what we are referring to. It's what we are playing on air. That's what we are referring to say, when you are accused, you are not convicted. And that is why we don't want to jump the gun. We are waiting for law enforcement agencies and the courts of our republic to do their work in order for us to make conclusive conclusion.
All right. You make a valid point, but what does the ANC step-aside rule dictate, therefore, for this PR councillor who is an accused?
The ANC step-aside rule will suggest that the councillor must not be active, must not be carrying out the work of the organization. But these matters have become complicated, at least for us at lower levels. Let me make an example. We have got a chairperson of eThekwini region, Mzukisi, who is being elected as a chairperson. And after that, he was then advised that the rule of step-aside suggests that he must then be absent in office. But she is not absent in government in the provincial legislature. Those are the complications that I'm referring to, that someone is said to be stepping aside, but equally they are playing some role in government. In our view, the councillor is unable to execute the responsibilities as a one councillor because he's in custody. That is why we're putting in a PR councillor to say the PR councillor must then stand in for the ward councillor up until the matters are concluded. At this time, the ward councillor will not be participating in any meetings of the community as a councillor of the ANC, in any structures of the ANC, up until this matter is concluded.
All right. Well, I suppose what you are explaining, Mr. Mkhize, is exactly the state of your organization, which is in a mess, basically. Let's just be clear about that. Very quickly, your quick message to the families of those who died and the family of the accused ANC PR councillor.
Well, to the families of the deceased, our comrades, we are with them in spirit, we are with them in every other aspect that we could possibly give them as a support. And we call on law enforcement agencies and the courts of our republic to speedily resolve these matters, such that we are able to have a situation where we have people who are convicted, such that we are able to say that one is the accused, that one is guilty, because part of the things that get to happen, as you correctly point out, Babungam, you have got a family of the accused, you have got a family of the deceased. Both of these people are people of the ANC. Now, imagine a situation where the ANC is very firm and saying that this one is guilty because he's accused, and then it turns out he's not. The family of the accused will be offended. We are saying we are with the family of the deceased, and we are calling on law enforcement agencies to do their work. And when they do their work, this matter will be resolved such that we are able to say to the families of the deceased, indeed, we have got a rotten potato inside. Indeed, we are removing the rotten potato inside such that it does not affect the entire bag. To the family of the accused, who are saying that they must adhere and comply with all the law processes such that they are able to prove their innocence of the member of their family speedily.
Mlondi Mkhize is the ANC spokesperson for the eThekwini region. Thank you very much for your time.